Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about Quad Box for December 2020. It is the absolute last mystery box for the 2020 year. Do you want to know what's inside this box? Do you want to know if they pumped it up? Do you want to know if there's super value in here for December? Well, then you're gonna have to stick around. Alright guys, we have the absolute last box for 2020. The last mystery box right here is the Quad Box for December. After this, we're going into 2021 and it'll be the January boxes. So now we've already done the FPV crate for 2020 December. If you want to check that out, it's up there. And I will say that that was a pretty decent box. Nothing fantastic, nothing super about it being like the holiday December box. It was really just any other box. There was nothing special about it. Price-wise, cost-wise, I would say it was a good box, but nothing over the top. Let's put it like that. Now we have Quad Box. Now they have historically, I've obviously been subscribing to them since February of 2018. So we've had December 18, December 19. This is now December 20. So this would be the third December box that I've opened throughout the years. The first two December boxes were freaking insane for Quad Box. So we have a motor, ladies and gentlemen, not just one motor, 4 motors. There's one over here too that you can't really see, but it's there. And what are they? They're your hype trains, baby. Hype train blaster V1s, 2207, 2450 kV. That is freaking awesome. Oh! Ho, 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 ho! Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun. Normally I save the good thing for last, but I can't help but see it. History has repeated itself. We have the blaster motors once again in the December box. So I'm hoping this does not disappoint. It does seem to have some good shake to it, so we will have to check that out. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring you all up in close. We're gonna unbox it together, give you my genuine reactions. We'll then do a cost analysis to really see what is included, what did it cost, what did you get, and how much it's worth, and all that fun stuff. And then we're gonna talk about these items. But before we do any of that, make sure you slam that subscribe button. While you're at it, hit that bell icon. Makes finding my videos a whole heck of a lot easier. It helps support the channel, and it keeps you in the know when I post videos such as this one. So without any further ado, let's get in. Quad Box, Christmas magic. All right, guys, I don't know. Let's get this guy open because I am super excited to see if they actually did what I'm hoping they do and make this December freaking insane. So let's cut that seal. Let's give it the little pre-open on that flap, flip it back around, make sure everything is all good to go, and then we open it. All right, so now I already know typically the paperwork and spoiler stuff is on the bottom, so I'm just gonna go fish that out real quick. Okay, and while we're at it, I do have the sticker sheet, which is pretty freaking cool. Goodbye 2020, I survived 2020. A lot of 2020 references here. 2020 is a firing, garbage heap. You get the picture. And I also kind of dig the Rotor Riot with the Santa hat on, so that is pretty cool. We'll move that to the side. Next up, we got some HQ props here. Let's see what we got here. These are the 5 by 4.5s by 3, a V3 of them. Here is your sticker if you want to read the information yourself. Pretty cool. I'm liking that set too. 5 by 4.5. This is kind of like my go-to pitch and style for HQ props. A nice cool blue color here, like a baby blue almost. 3 packs of those, not bad. Then what do we got here? We got a Lipo Suction. Interesting. I don't know what it is. Lipo Suction. So I am not 100% sure, but I'm going to give you my initial what I think this is. So liposuction's obviously, it's a medical term to like you take fat out of people. But I think what this is basically a battery discharger. You plug this on, and by the looks of it, it's got some circuitry in there that just slowly drains the battery. That's what I'm guessing this is, but I will look it up and confirm that for you when we talk about it later on. But I think that's kind of what this is, which is kind of a nice little thing to basically drain out a battery if that is in fact what this is for. Next up, we have a camera here. It looks to be a Foxeer. It's their Toothless 2 Nano. Pretty cool, full weather cam, standard edition. If you want to see the information on that, there you go. Nice, another camera. And Foxeer, great brand in cameras. Then we have a t-shirt, and that looks to be the end of the box. So let's take a peek at what this t-shirt is. That is freaking awesome. Whoa, what's going on here? Easy there, killer. So what we have here, basically the graphics here is, it's the Ladrib motor stuff, and down here in the bottom it says Reinvent FPV, which is really cool. I'm really digging having a Ladrib shirt because, you know, some may or may not know, but the whole purpose, the whole reason why I even started this channel in the first place, I was really inspired by him back in the day when, you know, with his videos flying a tiny whoop around in the, you know, the basement of his house and stuff. You know, watching his videos really inspired me to just try to help get more people involved, get the community, you know, to embrace the hobby and just get more people involved. And, you know, kind of, I only had one Ladrib shirt currently, which was the white one, which is the Skyliner one. So this is really awesome to just, you know, to rock the support for the dude that, you know, inspired the creation of this channel in the first place. The print quality on this looks pretty decent. I don't see any issues. Every line looks pretty sharp. Yeah, I really got no issues. And let me just see in case there's, nope, nothing on, because last time I got, you know, surprised by there being printing on the back. So this is just a front printing shirt, but that is pretty cool. All right, so to recap, we have the Ladrib shirt, we have the Foxeer camera, we have the Lipo Suction item, we have the 3 packs of props, and we have the sticker sheet. All right, let's run some numbers and see what we come out with. All right, guys. Ran the numbers, here you go. So overall, this is a pretty decent box. So let's go through these line by line and talk about each of these items. So first up, we got these HQ props. It is a style and a pitch that I'm very familiar with, 50-45. Pretty much what my go-to is either a 50-45 or a 50-50. So for me personally, this is an awesome sized and pitched prop. So I'm very excited to have got those, and we always need props. I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Change out your props. You know, the better condition your props are in, the better your quad will fly. And after a couple crashes or whatever, they can get dinged up. So make sure you swap them out. And it's great getting these props in these boxes of different varying pitches and sizes, because it gives you an opportunity to try something that you may or may not have tried before to see if it works for you, because each of these props will have a different type of handling, a different type of feeling to them, if you will. You know, some of them are a little bit larger, some of them have higher pitch, some of them are smaller and have more pitch, and each of those will change how it, you know, grips the air, if you will. So it's cool to get those. Next up, we have the Lipo Suction little thing here. And a side note, looking over the little cheat sheet that came with the box, it does say wildcard, 2 wildcards this month, MMCX to SMA adapter plus Lipo discharge device. Now, unfortunately, in my box, I did not receive an MMCX to SMA adapter, which is another way of saying just a little pigtail that you run from your VTX out to where you'd put your antenna. Those are the 2 ends of the connector. So there wasn't one in my box, so I didn't receive that. Now, I don't know if everyone didn't receive that or if I just happened to get the lucky box that didn't come with one of those. So therefore, I'm not going to be putting it into my cost analysis. But we did receive the Lipo Suction little doohickey thing here. And I will say this is exactly what I thought it was. It basically is a lipo discharger to bring your lipos down to a storage voltage. Now, what's nice about this particular one is that it's compatible with 3S, 4S, 5S, and 6S battery packs. So what you do, you plug this into your XT60 connector, and then there's a little button on there. You push the little button till the LED light glows the correct color for the type of battery pack you're discharging. So 3S is blue, 4S is green, 5S is red, and 6S is blue and green together, which I guess is more of a teal color maybe, if you will. And it will just discharge your battery. Now, granted, it is very tiny, and it uses a little tiny resistor to drain the battery. So if you have a fully charged pack that you want to put into storage voltage and you put this on there, you're probably looking like for 24 hours to discharge that one pack. So this is not going to replace the ISDT battery dischargers that I've reviewed in the past that I so love. If you haven't seen those, you can check the video out over there. Those will do it in a matter of relative minutes versus hours and hours and hours, because there's obviously much more resistance on there. Now, the one thing to keep in note, there is a little resistor on here that says that it will get very hot and do not touch. So I'm warning you now, it will get hot. Do not touch it. And I wouldn't advise plugging this into your battery and then throwing it into your gear bag to discharge, because again, if it's getting hot, who knows what it might be touching against, and you don't want any issues. So just make sure you play it safe and you use it properly. It is nice that it works on 3S to 6S, because I have seen these devices in the past, but they were voltage specific. So they were a 4S version and a 6S version that you had there was no selector. You just plugged it on and off you went. Now here's how it works, just so that you understand what you're doing. It's discharging it through the main leads. There's no balance tap attached to it, so it's not balancing or anything. It's just bringing the total voltage down to the appropriate level for storage. Now, keep in mind, you must select the proper battery pack, because if you put this on, like, let's say a 4S pack, and you forget to set it, and you set it to a 3S voltage, it's going to over discharge. I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of safety feature. I mean, it's so tiny, I doubt there's any kind of little safety things in there. But if you discharge a 4S pack to a 3S storage voltage total, you're going to over discharge that pack. So just be very careful when you're using this, and make sure you do set the proper pack voltages through the little LED as you click the little button. Next up, we have the t-shirt. It is a Ladrib t-shirt, which I am psyched about, just because, like I said, he is the inspiration that caused me to start this channel up. So it's really awesome to have, something to, pay homage, if you will, to the one and only Ladrib, aka Drew. And yeah, I'm really excited about that. The print quality on there looks great. It's a great shirt. My only personal thing is I like the darker color shirts. It's a little bit on the lighter side, but again, that's just personal preference. And last up, we have this little tiny nano camera by Fox here. It is super duper tiny. It's their nano version. It's the toothless 2. And again, also a Starlight camera, very similar to the one that we received in the FPV crate. If you missed my unboxing, by the way, of the FPV crate for December, you can check that out up in the corner there. But this is, again, another Starlight camera, meaning that it has a good light sensitivity for low light situations, although it does state that it is an all-weather camera, meaning that it should work in sunny and cloudy and starlight, and like it's sort of like it's good for everything is what they're saying. Although my personal experience, not necessarily with this camera, but just in general, is the more you try to do everything, the less you do anything good. So I'm guessing that being a Starlight camera, it's going to really shine in its low light scenarios, and if you're going to be flying in like super bright sun, it probably won't be your best choice, and there'll be better cameras suited for that type of stuff. But it's still awesome, because personally, I like flying around dusk and twilight, and that's the types of times, like basically like that golden hour when the sun starts to set, and then on to when it starts getting, you know, a little bit dark and dusky and stuff. That's the times that I like to fly. That's when I feel like there's less people around, and you just have more freedom and more, you know, space, if you will, to fly. So I always like to have lower light sensitivity cameras on my quads, just because that's the type of flying I do. In fact, one of them I even have off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it's a black and white super low light camera that I can fly when it's like it's dark, but I can still see relatively well, because that's, you know, but also that quad has a tons of LEDs on it because it just looks cool. Anyway, so that being said, when all is said and done and we go down here to the bottom, you can see that again, this, just like the FPV crate, is just a decent average box. My baseline to say when a box is just, you know, a good box is that it either has $20 over the cost or 25%. So here we are, a little bit over $20 at around $21, but we are pretty decently above 25%, being at 30% over the cost saved here. So that is a pretty decent value out of this box. However, this is not the, oh my God, super duper epic boxes that I was hoping to get from, you know, these companies on Christmas. This is just an average, ordinary box that could have happened on any given day. So don't get me wrong, I'm not disappointed. This is awesome value, awesome products, and awesome content here. Although I just wish it was a little extra special because it is the holiday season. But I understand that this year has been really tough for us as well, I'm sure, for the companies. So it's a give and a take, and I'm guessing that, you know, just as much as we struggle, they struggle, everyone struggles. So we're just trying to get through it. So the fact that at least we got decent boxes with decent product in here is really all that we can say is, you know, good and dandy. Since we're talking about comparisons though, let's actually make it official and look at the comparisons. So now we're basically comparing where everything lined up. So let me give you the quick tour on this. Green boxes mean that's who's in the lead. That first column there is what we're talking about. That middle column is quad box, and that rightmost column there is for FPV crate. So that first line there is basically what happened in 2019, and you can see Quadbox came out in the lead for 2019. What happened in 2020, with this being the end of the year, is that FPV crate had the higher value. However, keep in mind that Quadbox did not do a box in February of 2020 due to the supply chain issues during COVID. When you take everything into account across the board, what you got, pretty much Quadbox came out in the lead by 35 cents. So really it boils down to, if you're thinking about maybe subscribing to one of these two boxes, you pretty much can kind of expect the same amount of value, at least since July when the FPV crate launched. Overall, they've provided about the same amount of value, with, you know, Quadbox being 35 cents more on average, which to me is almost equal. The key thing to remember though is the next line down, which is the percentages, that Quadbox gave 35% while FPV crate gave 31%. So what does that mean? Well, it means basically you spend a little less on the Quadbox because the Quadbox is cheaper. It's $10 cheaper than FPV crate, so it costs you less, but you're getting about the same amount of stuff value-wise over what you pay for it. So it's a little bit better value percentage-wise for what you paid with Quadbox. However, overall, when you look at what you spent and what you got extra, they're about equal. So it really depends on what your budget is and what's right for you for which, if any, of these boxes you go for. Personally, I kind of like having both of them just because it's a nice back and forth. You kind of get a little bit of something from each one. It's sort of interesting though how there was a similar theme here, how the quad box here had like basically a Starlight camera and the FPV crate had a Starlight camera. You know, the difference being that the quad box had the shirt and the Lipo discharger, while the FPV crate had the antenna and a VTX. But overall, excellent box, Great way to end out the year for both boxes. I just wish one of them, actually I wish both of them, but I wish at least one of them gave like that hurrah of a, you know, year-ending box. But I understand that that's, you know, they're in the business to make money, let's face it. So if they gave us a whole bunch of stuff that maybe they can't afford, then they wouldn't be here next year. And I'm hoping to see 2021 coming in strong with both FPV crate and quad box just rocking it and just getting some good value, because hopefully with 2021 we can start to move past this whole COVID thing, move past all these lockdowns, move past all this everything, get back to some sort of normalcy and start investing back into our hobby, start, you know, flying more, start buying more, so that these companies then can give back more. That's what I'm hoping for in 2021. Which of these boxes is right for you? That's not for me to decide for you. I'm just here to give you the information and the, you know, pricing that I see and I find online, and to give you my thoughts. So I hope I helped you make a decision. But if you do decide to subscribe to one of these boxes, please use those links down in the description. They are affiliate links. They don't cost you anything extra, but they do help support this channel greatly. So I thank you for that. So let me end off by saying Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, and happy whatever holiday it is that you may be celebrating, because we are going to be going into 2021 and I cannot wait for January 1st, man. I cannot wait. So as always, my name's Tronage. Fly strong.